Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Draper, for hosting. My name is Nirmal. I'm here to present TravelTag. We call it Freedom from Baggage Carousels. So, a show of hands. How many of you are familiar with this? Right, exactly. So we've all been through this scenario, which is quite dreadful if you think about it, right? So we make, as worldwide passengers, and this is a dated number, so this is obviously higher than this, but there's about 3.3 billion trips that we make each year. 27% of the travelers polled say that they always check in a bag, and 55% of us check in a bag at least once during that trip. So at an average time of about 18 minutes that we spend at the baggage carousel, and my bags have never arrived in 18 minutes, by the way. It's always like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. International trips are sometimes even longer. But the idea is you're tethered to the baggage carousel, and you wasted an insane amount of time as a group, wasting this time on nothing, on doing nothing, right? And so if this was a company, imagine how much you would deploy an army to go fix this problem, because you're wasting 16 billion minutes a year waiting around and doing nothing. So we said, well, what can we do about it? So here's, we're going to play some Family Feud. So these are some of the emotional, mental, physical state that we arrive in when we land at our destination, right? So anybody want to take a guess?
Tired.
Who's stressed? Thank you. Who's irritated? Sometimes you're angry, sometimes you're frustrated, yeah? Agitated, you're hungry, you're jet lagged, you're flying from one continent to another part of the world. Sometimes you're just bored, you're just standing there doing nothing. So we said, well, how do we address this problem, right? I mean, we've got all the technology in our hands, we carry all these devices with us. So anybody's heard of beacons? Show of hands? Some of you have? Yeah? A good amount of people. So beacons, and I'll do a quick introduction to beacons as well. So we have a mobile phone, and you've got a beacon on the right, and these two things allow you to track your bags, right? And how does it do it? It does it based on proximity. That clock is running fast. So we have a Bluetooth smart energy device, so I'm going to speed things up here. It's low power, so when we ship this device, and this is what it looks like. This is from a third-party manufacturer. So this is what a beacon looks like, the one that we use. You can drop this in your bag. It has a pretty long range. We usually tune it to about 150 feet, so you can get notified when your bag arrives on the carousel, even if you're about 150 feet away, right? We sell it for about 39 bucks retail on our site, and it's practically world approved. You can take it anywhere in the world. The reason being because this problem is universal. So whether you land in Seattle or whether you land in Singapore, whether you land on United or whether you fly Qantas, it's the same problem. You have a checked bag, guess where you're going after you deplane? You're going to the baggage carousel. We're currently available on iOS and Android both. So again, it's pretty simple on how it works. We recognize, so when you buy one of these, you toss it in your bag, and then you travel the world, you fire up the app, and that's when it'll announce your bag when it arrives on the belt, right? So it lets you do the things that you normally wouldn't be able to do, like, you can carry on a business conversation, you can, tend to young kids if they're with you in tow. You can, go freshen up, use the restroom, whatever it is that you choose to do, with that time, knowing that the app is going to announce the bag when it arrives. So just a couple of things, transforms the last mile experience. I mean, think about an airline perspective. They're in control of the entire experience in flight, all the way from check-in, and then the moment you step out of that plane, now they just lost control over what you do and how your bags arrive. They might actually tell you, so Expedia and all these Delta Airlines, the native apps, will tell you what belt your bag is going to arrive on, but it's not going to tell you when it arrives. And so we're trying to solve that last mile problem, which bothers a lot of us, like 18 billion minutes. It's got visual and tactile notifications, so there's an audible notification as well. It avoids card wars. And then, the classic example from the picture again was, well, is that my bag? Like, because a million bags look the same, like everybody's got a black Samsonite for whatever reason. Especially also if you're wheelchair bound, you can identify your bags with confidence. So you don't have to look through everybody else standing and crowding at the baggage carousel. You can actually get notified and you can tell the person that's helping you when your bag arrives. So I'm going to go through a quick demo, if I may. Oh, that's the last one. Actually, before, give me just one second. Just one second. Currently, it's been tested like in all of these places around the world across several continents as well. We have about 630 million passengers, B2C. We're trying to establish some partnerships with airlines to allow us to take the features of the product even further. So it does require Bluetooth and location to be enabled. That wasn't mine, but so I'm going to say allow Bluetooth. I'm already logged in, but you can either sign up using an email address, or you can sign up using Facebook, or you can sign up using Twitter. And it only requires you to sign up once, and that's it, right? You just leave the app running, and you're all set. The way it scans for beacons, so it's got the 3 beacons that I have here. So it's identified all 3 of them. So imagine you bought 3 of these for 3 separate bags that you're traveling with. You can track as many bags as you like, 1 per bag. So you can register them. So I'm going to register Destination Affairs number 2. I give it a name, and I say this is my Samsonite Word Traveler bag. Oh, I already called it a Samsonite, but anyways. So you can give it a name, model, I don't know, called Blackbird. It's a 24-inch bag, and it's red. So go ahead and save that. I can also, sort of take a picture of something that looks like a bag. I'll just take a picture of these beacons right now to help me identify which bag it is that it's tracking, so it gives me a visual notification when my bag arrives as well. So now I know that it's this bag, and it already says it's arrived because it sets the tracking to on, but all you need to do is, if you want to just turn off tracking, during the course of the flight or before, and when you arrive at your destination, you just turn tracking to on, it starts scanning and it says it'll arrive tag, and it also buzzes my phone, so it gives you some tactile notification, and so it's pretty simple.
You probably want to check that it's also on your flight with you.
That's a great question. So in some cases, we've heard of instances where you can actually, depending on the size of the plane and where you are seated with respect to where the bag might be, on the smaller planes, I have actually been able to do it from a flight from Boston to Nashville because it's a smaller plane. But on bigger planes, I'm not sure if that, how well that works.
How does it know it hit the carousel?
I'm sorry?
How does it know it reached the carousel as opposed to somewhere in the back?
Well, because we set the range to about 150 feet. Yeah, so when it drops, yes, it'll probably notify you as it's arriving on the carousel or on the belt, but it's close enough. Yep.
If I lose my cat or dog, I can find them because that can go check their microchip. Do you have a system where if my bag actually ended up in Dubai, someone else with the app would automatically report it in a different destination?
No, that's a great question. So no, it doesn't do that. This is purely based on proximity to solve that last mile problem. So it doesn't, if your bag is stuck in London, it's not going to tell you. But what we are trying to do is extend the feature set by partnering with these airlines to allow us to say, I already know who you are. I know all the attributes of the bag that you're tracking. And with one push, you could send that packet information to Delta or American Airlines and get an acknowledgement back saying, my bag hasn't arrived, and then do something with that information. But we're still working on that. Maybe.
How is this different from the other beacons that are available in the market?
The beacons are the same. It's not different. It's the use case that's different. So it's the same beacon. You can buy this like Tile. If you use Tile, it uses the same thing. But we've built a couple of features inside the app that are travel specific. So in the event, let's say your bag doesn't arrive after half an hour or something, you can look up a list of these airlines to allow you to sort of connect with them directly, right? So we're trying to extend the feature set by having vertical integration. Oh, you want to laugh? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
How often do you need to charge the battery for the beacon? Does it need to be charged?
No, it doesn't. So once it's done, you essentially toss it and buy a new one. This thing lasts for about 4 years.
And how does the airline feel about the transmitting device getting inside the plane?
They don't seem to care. No, I haven't had any problems. It's no different than sort of carrying like a Bluetooth headset in your baggage or on you in person, except it's just better. It's Bluetooth low energy, so it doesn't like drain your battery, or it doesn't need any pairing except for the first time you register the bag, which is a feature of our app. But natively, it doesn't need to be paired. And if two individuals, like if two of you were traveling and you both had the same beacon, yours is going to only alert you for the registered one that you have versus the other passenger, so it has that level of isolation as well. All right, thank you.